Good morning, Don Keith with the Diary of a Psychotic Video Blog. This installment of video blog is brought to you by New Balance. Don't think you're an athlete, be one. I have a problem with the terminology that the media are using to describe immigrants. Now, the term immigrant means someone who has moved from their home country to a new country to continue their life here. Okay? A United States immigrant. Well, they're calling people that come from south of the border of the United States, from Central America and Mexico, they're calling them migrants. A migrant, by definition, is someone who comes to one place to work and goes back home to another place to work. So a migrant is somebody who has, their home in another country. They come into the United States to perform a task, make the money for that task, and then go back home. That's a migrant. Okay? A migration is a group of people, or let's take birds for instance. The North American goose or the Canadian goose migrates from the north to the south of the North American continent. That's a migration. What is happening with Honduras, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Ecuador? All of these countries are in economic disarray, and people are coming into the United States to avail themselves of absolute poverty and death due to that. That's not a migration. That is an exodus. And for now, the United States economy cannot sustain such an exodus, which is why our Congress is divided on who can come into the country and who can't. Migrants are still able to come into the country, perform a task, and leave and go back home. However, the destitute nations are overrunning this nation. Sad to make that type of an assessment or judgment call, because it's not really my place to make that kind of a judgment call. But I do want to say to my fellows in the media, please stop calling them migrants. They don't have any intention of leaving. They don't have anything to go back to. A migrant has has some place to go back to, but they don't. These people that are coming into the country and are desperate, they're dragging their children through the Rio Grande and crossing the border and trying to climb 30-foot high fences and dig tunnels under them. Do you think they ever have any intention of leaving? No, they don't. They don't have any intention of leaving. So you get what we have here. We have a group of people that for any means necessary will get into the country. And their people back home who are still starving, still destitute, are expecting that person to send them money. As I said in our last installment, we don't have any more money to send. All right? The United States is trying to recover funds from other countries due to black market, and due to this very thing that people that we label migrants come into the country. They stay here and stay here and stay here as long as they can, and they deal in the black market, and they deal in whatever they can, and they get 2 and 3 jobs, and they work themselves nearly to death just to send money to people that have their hand out who are starving. I understand that. But the charity organizations that have been abused over the last 50 years, they're the ones who are responsible for these conditions. Not us. Not this generation bears some responsibility, yes. But a lot of the non-profit organizations have led to this. If you're going to do charity, make sure it's the pure love of Christ type of charity. And maybe we'll get fewer exoduses into the country. Hard to say. I look at the situation at the border. I got to hand it to the vice president. She went and looked. I don't know if she came up with any solutions or not. Haven't heard from her since then. Have we? Anyway, let's not be civilly ignorant and call the migrants when they are an exodus. And these people that are coming into the country, they don't intend on leaving. And they've got to become citizens. So let's try to make them citizens and not civilly ignorant. Anyway, this third edition of Civil Ignorance is brought to you by New Balance. Don't think you're an athlete, be one.